If you get baptized and then turn your back on the religion or get kicked out of it, then you're not allowed to have any sort of contact with any member of the church at all. And this is more than enough to deter most people from ever leaving.
You're not allowed to talk to your family?
No, I haven't talked to my aunt in over a decade. I think the last time I spoke to her was at my dad's funeral.
But your mother and brother still speak to you even though they're not allowed to?
They do. There was a few times back in the early 2000s when my mom spoke of having to disown me, and I'm pretty sure that influence came from my aunt who started it all. And it might sound radical, but I consider the effect of her spreading the religion as sort of a spiritual vampirism that has affected my own family.
The day I was going through all the doors looking the church over, and I checked out every door. I was just a kid, curiosity, and I came to this one door right off the altar, and I had no idea what it was, but it was the only door that so far I had found that was locked. And I stood there thinking, and oh yeah, knocking it shall be opened unto you. So I knocked and the door opened. And I went in, and it was the small room where the minister kept his gowns. Then I heard a voice, and I said, "Where are you? I'll find you." And I got in behind the gowns and started looking for somebody. You know, I know there's somebody in here. I can hear you. I'll find you. And the voice finally got me to sit down and asked me if I wanted to help God. And I said yes, and told me to live a good life and to not lie, cheat, and steal. Those were the three main ones.
She didn't return my email at all. She didn't try to get in contact with me after I wrote her. A very professional letter. Keeping in mind that we haven't talked to each other for over a decade now. And what she did was she went to my mom and told her that I'd asked her to help her get a therapist for my brother, who's had issues with, with his health recently and behavior and dependency and such. So,
how did your mother react when she found out about the letter?
well, I mean, she was devastated. She called me up, and something she hasn't said for a while, but she was talking about disowning me again over this letter. That she would have to disown me, possibly, and certainly if I did anything else to aggravate the situation.
I remember how peaceful an experience it was. Like all my cares, when I heard the voice, just dissipated, and there I was sitting, I don't know the right word, but sitting without any anguish about anything. This incredible calmness and peacefulness. I wish I could claim that every day.
If someone gets a blood transfusion, they're sinning against God because He made blood sacred. So getting a blood transfusion, they argue, is the same as eating blood, which the Bible has a strict prohibition on. This is very interesting because when one gets a blood transfusion, the blood is used as an organ more than as a food source.
When I was about 12 years old, I went to a girls' school. I was called down in this room to see the priest, and he had, which I didn't know what they were at the time, but he had a bunch of condoms on the desktop. And he was going to have sex with me. And I ran out of there. And when I got to the top of the stairs, Mother Superior grabbed me by the arm. And I was hysterical, and I was yelling at her what I saw. And she said to me, "That's the price you pay for being a female." And after that, I talked with some of the other girls, and they said, "Oh yeah, that happens. It's nothing. It's nothing." They were used to it.
The blood transfusion doctrine has led to the deaths of thousands of people. Sometimes children who didn't have the choice whether or not to get a blood transfusion or to keep on living. That choice was made for them by their parents, who were blinded by the doctrines of the church. Some of these parents even later realized that what they had done amounted to murder, to letting the church effectively kill their babies.
How do you think the church has affected your life overall?
Well, it hasn't kept me from believing in God. I think the sense of coming together and creating an atmosphere and an attitude of goodness and helping is very important.
The social control that they exert, they use it to manipulate individuals' lives by taking away their own power to choose who they associate with. And if they don't hold a certain sort of, pass a certain ideological test, then they are taken out of their society, taken away from the social network they have.
Ideally, what would you like to see happen in your family's future?
I'd like to see my brother get some help, and I'd like to see my mom have some genuine happiness, something that's not based on fear and guilt and beating herself up.